things as wrong. All right, what's your problem?
What the slavery, what the slave trade was?
Yes, the translated slavery started with chattel slavery, which was started by Islam, which was ended by Christians in England.
Islam brought slaves to America?
Oh my God. All right, chattel slavery was a type of slavery that started in Islam in the Middle East, that grew into Africa, and was stopped by the Christians in England.
Okay, so just because the England had a change of heart doesn't mean that they're not. You can't blame them for what they did.
No one's making this claim. No one is making this claim. My claim is, with the Christian ethics system and the Christian worldview, we saw that even when people were acting with something that was common in this time and throughout this period, they were starting to see this as wrong due to the Christian ethical system. This is my claim. You're totally missing it.
I don't even think that, just like, what about the thousands of years like
Yes, you're talking about something that was common in the ancient world. Yeah. And when the Christian ethical system saw, we started seeing people originally enslaved as brothers and sisters. This led to the eradication or the idea that slavery is wrong from a Christian perspective. And we see this change.
Tactical out!
Confirm that one. UAV in the area. UAV online.
Closing tactical! Getting lit up!
No, you can have both at the same time.
I'm hit! Tactical out!
In the area. Inbound. Friendly UAV online. Friendly UAV.
Enemy KIA. Taking fire.
Right in the area.
Incoming.
No, they fought.
Ammo in.
Friendly UAV online. Standing by.
Requesting recon at my location. Getting lit up. Switching mag.
Dodge one.
Take cover.
UAV on station. Kill confirmed.
Tactical out.
Friendly UAV online. failed. Return to base.
You can't. I mean, you can deny his divinity. That's not an argument, but you can't deny his.
I guess killing,
Is killing always wrong?
What are the wrong things about war?
Is killing always wrong?
What are like civilians died, I'm pretty sure.
You're not answering my question. Is killing always wrong?
There's self-defense, but I don't think a lot of war is that.
When you say defending people,
Because someone's trying to kill you.
yeah, when you say defending people, the hold your worldview from being slaughtered by a group of people as well.
You have to hold your worldview to have human value.
Sure, but in the Crusades, what was happening was Christians and other people were getting slaughtered by Islam. So the Christians got an army together and made the crusade down to attack Islam. What's wrong about defending Islam?
But how long was that area of Islam?
This area is still under fight. Yeah.
Are you just asking, like, why would it matter if the caliphates were there for 1 year or 100 years?
Yeah,
Around with it, they don't really matter.
We're still seeing, like, these fights happen today.
Oh, he left.
Oh, me.
Yeah, he was kind of confused on a couple of points for sure. But that'd be a turret.
No, I just hate that argument because I hate when people say because bad things happen, Christians did, therefore Christianity is bad.
Yes. I think the matter
Tactical
Kill
out!
confirmed. Neutralize hostiles. Grab their tags to win. Simple enough. We've lost the lead.
action would say would have this standard, subjective standard.
I'm hit!
Permissible or unpermissible.
I've never done so long.
Agreed.
Changing that.
It doesn't matter if Christian give whatever you
Tossing
may be,
tactical.
which worldview gives
Steering it up.
We've taken the lead.
actions of Christianity.
Switching mags. On the safe side.
Dodge one.
Tactical out.
Kill confirmed.
Tossing tactical. Tactical out.
Confirm that one. Our counter UAV is active.
Any of you guys underestimate the 3 prompts?
Tossing tactical.
Nostalgia? Gotcha. Any of the other prompts? I think everybody here
Taking fire.
agrees that it's immoral.
The enemy's taken the lead.
Tactical out. You got cocky, and now you're dead.
I don't.
Boy. Tag secure. Kill confirmed.
Requesting recon at my location.
We've taken the lead.
I believe when you go into context with positions like that, you need to read the scriptures and what actually.
Loading fresh mag.
We've lost the lead.
Jesus and their God actually represents.
Tossing tactical.
Stand
hit.
by.
Changing mags.
Like, I think a lot
Confirm that one.
of today, even though Christian kind of believes in the same thing Christians believe in Christianity.
Tossing tactical.
Hostile Wilson in the area. Moving behind, get moving.
Tactical out. Taking fire. Almost got me.
Churches have
Kill confirmed.
Tossing tactical.
Kill the lead.
Check your fire. Getting lit up.
Yeah, that is true. You're allowed longer stories from non-denominations.
Yeah, Joel Osteen and people like that.
Yeah, well, the issue with non-denominational, there is no normative ever is
Tactical out.
a church, a non-denominational church.
church. They
We've
don't
taken
have
the lead.
Taking fire.
Asian church, like over town.
Tactical out.
Into a thrift shop after.
Confirm that one.
Non-denomination.
Oh, check your fire. Tossing tactical.
Tag secure. Kill confirmed.
Yeah, so that should be like a second.
Friendly UAV on station.
And the non-denominational isn't claiming to be any like
Sight. I'm over here.
The
like
enemy
Tactical
taking the
out.
lead.
like pastor and non-denominational. So they won't hold any
Loading fresh mag.
like traditions or dogmatic
And it
Tossing
just
tactical.
depends on
it could be net, it could be like
what they care about.
Tossing
But
tactical.
some denominations,
Outside of primitive
yeah,
destroy.
it's like a hodgepodge heresies. Like it's like pick your flavor.
yeah, I think
Tossing. Tactical out.
And that's not. I'm not
Check your fire.
like a non-dom. I'm not like any disparaging at you or anything like that.
Well, that's a question about
Tossing
his
tactical.
Yeah, no. The issue with non-dom is they honestly call it
Tactical
still
out.
alive.
Are you talking about the verse, like, praying to saints? Is that what you mean?
Saints instead of
I'm over here.
church.
UAV online.
Reformed from almost to say that this is like the Church of Jesus Christ, and they established the two churches.
Check your fire.
Orthodox, but
Tossing tactical.
Catholic churches.
Would you agree if he... Would you agree...
It's our well-respected.
1 minute.
Yeah, just like
Would you...
he doesn't give a criticism.
Hostile care package.
Would you...
Like, yeah, sure. Opinion on his terrible as the satanic.
Wait, would you agree...
Nobody wants it. He made a mistake.
Wait, would you agree... Would,
Enemy KIA.
would you agree with, Would you agree with, Oriental Orthodox Christians?
With their Arian
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, they're here. Yeah, they're
Shooting me up.
You don't believe in the Trinity.
Assaulting tactical.
Well, they believe in the Trinity. They just they
Angel is not here.
yeah they
Check your fire.
Confirmed.
Eastern Orthodox was
yeah the nature of God, the nature of Jesus it's a very big. The difference is he is in Oriental Orthodoxy. He has one nature that's both human and divine.
So which one doesn't believe in this group monotheism?
No, they do. Yeah,
Which I know there's a Christian kind of, I don't know if it's non-denomination or denomination. Or
Any
whatever.
Protestant will deny that, essentially. Any
You seem kind of like Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
Well, we can just look at the heretical groups. You've got the Arians, the oneness doctrine, the ones that think Christ is the Father. We could look at all the heresies that the church fathers talk about that are just being brought back up. I mean, the Mormons obviously believe in polytheism. They believe that the Father once wasn't a God and became a God. Jesus extended to a God, so therefore God's like dependent. God's a contingent being in the Mormons' worldview, which is crazy.
I think the Seventh-day Adventists as well. I think they believe in annihilationism.
Oh yeah, they're heretical. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that do believe in.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say it's hard to not be a heretical church if you don't follow scripture, or, you know, if your church denies certain things about Christ, it's hard to not call it a heretical church.
yeah, you got a good point. I guess they're just like, I think their heresies take further away from the truth of Christ. Like, as much as I want to argue with like a Protestant, like they at least believe in the Trinity for the most part, and they at least have some of the core doctrines I respect. But yeah, you're right. They're still heretical. Yeah, so you're correct.
But so should we have like only one and as a denomination?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole point of the word Catholic is universal. That means that if I've got a church in Antioch and I've got a church in Rome, it's still the same church, even though it's a different location. Is that because
You know, that's just one reason we have different churches. That's just he thought you. And at the time, there was a little bit of corruption within the church, and there was issues, which he sought to reform by leaving, and then essentially.
Luther is he actually originally, when he had his contentions with the Roman Catholic Church, he said he agreed with the Orthodox, but then he went away from the Orthodox position. Yeah. So it's like, what are you doing, bro?
But he still believed within the taking of the Eucharist, within Mother Mary. He still believed within, and then churches.
They changed it after him.
Yeah, to flaw their beliefs.
You know, I say this to a lot of abolitionists, but they always like cower. Well, I wouldn't say cower away, but like they you know, slither out of that. You know, a lot of them are Calvinists, and I think Calvinists is Some are, some definitely are.
Taking fire.
Well, my question is, don't Calvinists like reject free will? I can't even remember. I'm not sure.
They are, like they take the verses on like the elect, meaning like everything is already and so everything's already done. So there's like kind of try to like run like a
I mean, it goes against scripture. If your church says something that goes against scripture, you can prove it goes against scripture. That is a basis for
it's almost like there has been like a church that practices and continues like the traditions of the original church.
Roman Catholicism.
We don't have to rely on a bunch of people arguing about interpretation of this teaching.
a secondary source, that there has never been a primus and himself and all that.
So just all this, like, these things, like, scripture was based off of liturgical teachings, so meaning that these are things that are normal practice communication.
Was put together by scripture.
Yeah, but the issue is unique, completely missing oral traditions.
This exactly to dismiss oral traditions like native tribals, their history, and what native tribals or tribal
they told us this is like secular. This is in regards to like the ordination of the church fathers for Christ. Right? And then we do have clear succession from it.
So there's
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, right from when Jesus walked, what he wanted and what he meant, what he was trying to teach, you truly wanted to know what he wanted. To the earliest time of writing of what he was trying to teach.
So the issue is, we have the writings that made witness of Christ. We have 3 people that were there at least with Christ, that is one person that wrote the testimony of the man that saw the things of Christ.
You know better than us. On top of this, actually, some of the church fathers, like Clement, I believe, are actually like mentioned in the scriptures.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It would have been described exactly what the Jews described. And if we're saying that he was saying that he was out of character, to that he may be
the issue is like we're talking about how we have reliability, laws and teachings of Christ. Like we're getting
one is you gotta bring up the Old Testament on some occasions. Yes, I believe it.
Yeah, but earlier you said you weren't.
All of Paul's letter is connecting the Old
So what I'm saying is, like, we don't have, I believe in Christ.
That's what our faith is. We don't know his faith.
That's anything for me to understand. Know his eternal love because we can't comprehend it. Emotional, I got it. Like, but I'm talking about logic.
It's something that you can't comprehend yourself. We're talking about you can't comprehend the true flesh. You can't comprehend God's plans
Are living proof of it. That's what I'm trying to say is understanding history cannot announce anything in check history. No. So how can we consider the Bible as mythology? If history as actually actually dismissed history as being pure, that being like pure legend.
Took that out of commission.
But it is defined legend because we also have like legends that are real. There are
but I'm just saying the issue is what you're saying is if
Physical. Tossing tactical. Hostile equipment destroyed. Taking fire.
UAV is online. Friendly UAV on station.
Tactical out.
Enemy.
Steering lit up. Hostile equipment.
Enemies.
Tossing tactical. Changing back. Reporting my location.
Ready to
Sniper's
deploy.
down.
Taking Alpha. Enemies.
Reporting my location. Tactical out. Sniper's down. Switching mag. Trigger fire.
UAV online.
Tossing tactical. I'm hit.
The mission's complete. Good work.
This has been a history of activity in the scriptures. It means we have to follow the traditions.
Says something like the justification of slavery. It's very simple to defend it. As to one who believes.
Yes, we can see what the church says about this as well as the scripture. That's reference to the church.
Well, right, but basically, what Jesus said about it. This says that no one.
That's which is exactly what the arguments the church will bring you to. Right. Okay. If you don't have the church at your back, here's the thing: if you don't have the church as your back, okay, what is your grounding that your interpretation of the scripture is true?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's the grounding that your interpretation of scripture is true without the church?
What is my grounding that the scriptures true without the church?
Your understanding of the scripture.
I assume that you're thinking that, like, denomination exists and that, like, individuals. Okay, let's say that the church never existed, but the scripture did. Does it mean nothing without a hope? Or does it mean something good?
Did you just totally run away from my question?
No.
Shifted away from my question because you fucking shot it.
I'm shifting your concept of Christianity.
Here's another adventure. Right question. What would the church be if there was no Bible?
Well, it would be nothing because nothing would be done.
It would be the Orthodox Church. There wasn't a Bible. Okay? Still the Orthodox Church mean anything, bro.
You would say Catholic Church, but
Yeah, the Catholic Church.
Well, that's right. It's the Catholic Orthodox Church.
Yes.
The Universal Orthodox Church. Before the split, that's what it's called.
Okay, up until that date, where was the first pope?
The first pope was in 1,054 years after the establishment of the church.
Well, technically, Peter was the first pope.
Well, he was the bishop of Antioch.
Yeah.
It was the first amongst many.
None of that mattered. There was no documentation of the
There's a lot of documentation of this. We don't only have the Bible, we also have the writings of the church. Wait, we have the writings of the church fathers. We have the writings of the people around that time. We have the Bible. We have a lot of documentation about this.
Right. I'm talking about from Jesus.
We have made a lot of documentation. Jesus,
to where oh my gosh, can I talk for 5 seconds without being interrupted? Oh, actually, whenever Jesus spoke to Peter, what was his words to Peter? Transition to establish the church. And so the church was established by his apostles. It wasn't hundreds of years later. I know. That's when we ordained the first church. The first pope was established after the schism with the introduction of the Filioque, which happened 1,054 years after the church started. Church of Christ? It's the Church of Christ. It's the Church of Christ. I don't like that name. That reminds me of the denomination I don't like. The Church of Christ is the church of all denominations of Christianity. Like, it doesn't matter.
Everybody, all Christians. So, like,
well, let's make sure we name it right, because the Church of Christ is a non-denominational church today, so when you say this, okay, you assume that. So, the original church was called the Catholic or Catholic Orthodox Church. The Universal Orthodox Church. I mean, a lot of names are being thrown around. Yeah, so if we're going to call it correctly, we should call it the Catholic Church. Just make sure you say Catholic and not Roman. Right, but the person who started the Catholic Church was Christ, and then he has from Peter, who was a member of the disciples. Right. Like Peter, Paul, James, Well, I originally came in saying that we can't separate her. I'm not the enemy here. Someone was making an argument earlier about something that was happening earlier in the Bible, and I was saying I think it's to separate the New Testament and the Old Testament. You can't. You shouldn't, because the Old Testament still is God. I don't forget. Earlier you did, but he was to say that prostitution is totally illegal, and it's supposed to it is punishable by being stoned to death for execution. I would say that Jesus probably thought totally different in the First Testament and in the Second Testament. It's totally different. It's because sin. He was the first stone amongst the world, essentially. I mean, it's the old covenant was established to people that needed extreme laws to come to these understandings of what's morally right and things like this. The new covenant, because we have a greater understanding, is established in the law. It's about the new covenant. Like a got another worse scripts, huh? Maybe I do. Hardpoint relocated. That's a bad thing. Like, it enters from. I got it. The Old Testament. Jesus is in the Old Testament. For him, he actually has Sodom and Gomorrah, raining fire. Yeah. Jesus is all there.
In the New Testament, Jesus in his parables was like, man, before the Old Testament is very important if you want to learn about Jesus.
Yeah, the second person existed before the incarnation.
Okay. I think
the transition between the Father and the Son, it wasn't always. What do you mean by transition? So that is always the Do you believe that God? Maybe. Do I believe in a single God? Yes. Do I believe in a single God? Do you believe in
this three persons, God would be the nature, right? Yeah, the reason scripture, the way you're trying to get about this is, if you're going for judgment of the scripture, what grounding will that give? Interpretation. Read the scripture have different interpretation.
I guess my interpretation. I mean, I don't like you read about a priest that existed in ancient Greece, so modern.
I'm joining the Orthodox Church because the church is the tradition each Christ established as his means for the eternal scriptures.
I'm loading! I'm reloading! Friendly mosquito active.
Yeah, I should out.
You did. Yeah, you did.
So, why should I take your interpretation of scripture? Why should this be the interpretation I take? What are the reasons why I should take this conservative liberal church to the history of Christianity and accept the interpretation of people that actually can't use the Bible and their teachings? Like, why should I take your interpretation?
I would say just because I vocalized my interpretation that you should accept mine.
So I should reject it.
I mean, if you want to, sure.
Yeah, because anyone can scripture, and they're going to try and justify why this would be the view we should take. This is like the issue of process. Because it calls the church to cause Christ.
Because there's too many secondary sources out there. Secondary sources first.
It's not necessarily calling Christ because, like, I don't have to be, like, I could be non-denominational.
Like we said, that, you know,
Yeah, we don't
raise out the empire that talked about the Jewish people, the principal and there's accounts that, like, you know, Jesus was a grown man, but see, we don't know.
God.
This is historically, this is a guy. Yes, like, we all agree, right? Like, this is all
People will push the fact that he was a and he naturally some people will say he's white. There is empirical evidence to say he least like the people around him based off the shroud of Turin. I would say that describes him. It will be
Middle Eastern Jews, maybe. Eastern Jews.
I've heard that looks very Middle Eastern to me. I haven't seen the evidence.
Yeah, it dates back to the Jewish like energy to do that was the U.S. rid of like 3 days milliseconds. It is absurd.
Radiation that did not exist at the time. Supposing of intensity.
Do you think that's the best? Do you think that's the?
There is a guy who put out like $1 million for someone that can replicate it. So if anybody thinks they can,
Do you think that's the best argument for God's existence? The child hearing.
I think it's a terrible argument for God's existence. It is a piece of evidence.
It also found I would say like a compelling piece of evidence.
There's no way you can tie it back to Christ. Even if you tie it back to Christ, you can't tie it back to Christ.
It's just a form of like something that accounts in favor of your of something that accounts in favor of your conclusion. If we were what it would be.
Was fucking kids. horrible picture of something that existed as a game.
It extracts the off the strap, and that's what we're capable of today. And technology that we have, we're capable of finally getting enough particle DNA and apparently came to one chromosome. Can you explain that? Yeah, Jesus. I mean, one chromosome is for conception.
Yeah, but I hate to say that that's not true. I mean, look at all the evidence. That's not part of the evidence. That was falsely claimed. Like, a lot of the evidence. There's no evidence for people like this.
If you read
Changing mags.
Talk to abolitionists. You would have been right.
I can't talk to those people.
Even I can't talk to them. Oh my gosh, did I tell you about what happened?
Mm-mm.
So you know I'm not an abolitionist. I don't
Yes.
like abolitionists.
Yes.
So there was a live being held.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So there was this live. They were like extremely like low tier. I was gonna go in and cook them. But they wouldn't allow me up. And then apparently one of our friends wanted to debate them. Okay.
Okay.
And they didn't want to debate them. He wanted to do a religious debate.
Your friend?
And they were internally critiquing people. I hate this about them. So if they're internally critiquing someone, you don't assert your worldview onto them. Because you're taking on their position. If you want to internally critique them, you don't assert your worldview onto them. You're doing an internal critique about their view. It has nothing to do with your view. You're internally critiquing their view. You're
that makes
the
sense.
opponents.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you're asserting God every 5 fucking seconds.
This was your debate that your friend was doing with them. About...
I don't know these people. I just saw them, and my friend wanted to debate them about religion.
Mm-hmm.
And and I typed in the comments, I'm like, hey, my friend wants to do a debate. He wants to do a 2v1, so it would be 2 of the Christian abolitionists against a Muslim pro-life with exceptions.
Interesting. That sounds kind of like an interesting debate. I don't know.
Yeah, and they denied it. And then they said, oh, well, he's mean, or he's...
Hi, quick question for you. Do you know who this is?
After you finished gossiping about me, did your life get better?
I'm crazy, but you
Friendly precision strike inbound. We've secured the lead. Friendly Mw3 active. I'm on you!
100%.
No,
Down.
real quick, Miss Kate. It's just going to be the idea that you rule from a place that there's going to be certain ethical.
Took a shot.
Ever wondered? Guys, it is Quaman here today, and I'm bringing you another debunking video, and this time I'm going to be debunking something a lot more subjective, as I've seen this article floating around for quite some time by Stephen Roger, which is called 16 Reasons Why Dragon Ball Sucks. Guys, I do not think there is 16 reasons why Dragon Ball sucks. I did. Alrighty guys, it is Quaman here today, and I'm doing another debunking Dragon Ball discussion for this week. And my good friend Goodnight Moon shared with me this one, in which he found an article by Patricia Hernandez in which she's discussing this Dragon Ball Z theory and saying that Goku ruined the Dragon Ball series pretty much by his whole existence in the Dragon Ball world. And in this video today, I'm going to be reading her article, discussing key points, and sharing my overall thoughts. So without wasting any time, let's get straight into this video. And I want you guys to share your thoughts in the comment section below once I'm done. So the first thing that Patricia's arguing is that by Goku pretty much coming to Earth, he pretty much screwed up the entire Dragon Ball world in certain elements because of the fact that he attracted so many levels. So let's look at some key points here. So she does acknowledge that it's likely that some horrible villains would have appeared on Earth while looking for Goku. That's true. But if Goku wasn't present, then perhaps a different character would have happened to shine a bit more. And then she goes into talking about Bulma. Now, as you can see here, it says, in one corner we have the Red Ribbon Army, specifically we have Dr. Jerome or Garo, Japanese version, a scientist of unfathomable genius able to create bipedal nexuses of near infinite power, the opposite of operation. More specifically, we have Dr. Reem and Bulma, individuals of absurd intellect that their first commercial product turns conversation into. After discovering an alien spacecraft, they were able to improve on its design with a couple of decades, if not less. So, and they also added gravity control and all that stuff. So she's pretty much making an argument here that Dr. Reeves and Bulma would pretty much be like anti-geniuses to Dr. Jerome, which I do think is a good point. It is interesting to say that Bulma is very, very, very intellectual and there's some things that we also have to look at. So she's pretty much saying here that with both the genius of Jerome versus the genius of Reeves and Bulma, they would pretty much go into war over who can dominate the Earth with their intelligence, with obviously Bulma and Dr. Reeves being on, I guess you could say, the good side of things. But there's something that we have to look for from Patricia then mentions that the Bulma is a genius that is not really new news to other people because she can pretty much build a time machine, and by saying that Bulma can build a time machine, she can pretty much fix anything that would happen if Dr. Drew had somehow won. Now here's where we're having a problem. You have to consider
Smash Bros is on Uber Eats. Get a buy one, get one double bro. Only on Uber Eats.
Find a great rental car deal with Kayak. And find a...
Consider that future Bulma, and even the present Bulma, if we're going to Dragon Ball Super, obviously, Patricia wrote this article before Dragon Ball Super was, obviously debuting, but you have to factor that Bulma is not able to create a time machine for an extremely long time in Trunks' future. And if you even look at it in Dragon Ball Super, which is even further confirming it even more, Bulma did not even know how to build a time machine after all this time that had passed anyways, because of the fact that she had to use
evidence of what her future self did. She only repaired the time machine that Sal already came to the past with. So that's telling you that as smart as Bulma is, she only worked on that time machine and chose this future because she had absolutely nothing else to focus her time on doing with. Whereas the present time Bulma would not have had that type of preparation. It's not like you could just build a time machine out of scratch. It would have taken Bulma many years to construct that concept. And also, we have to look at something else too. If Bulma was to create this time machine in any instance, that is by default defaulting that Dr. Gero would have won first before Bulma would have to go back and fix things. So think about this, guys. If you say Bulma can create a time machine, you're pretty much in essence saying that she would fail and all the events of the present would have gone in a negative situation first before she would even have the need to create a time machine, therefore defaulting that Bulma's genius would not have been able to stop Dr. Gero for other factors. So let's obviously go down here. She's also talking about if the Red Ribbon Army's creations didn't manage to kill Bulma after wiping out every other noteworthy father on the planet, with the exception of one who was laughably weaker, it's a fair bet to say that they wouldn't have much of a shot. With her alive, every possible scenario turns out to this. So here is where Patricia's kind of going into more of a discussion here, where she's kind of just, pretty much talking about how her future self would talk with her present self. But let's go back down here where she actually adds a lot more points to the actual Red Ribbon. So she's saying, can you imagine the sheer insanity that would result if Dr. Gero gave Bulma the Cyborg 18 fuck you treatment? After acquiring the Dragon Balls, barely an inconvenience, immortality, done, undo, and you can pretty much do all of Dr. Gero's meddling with the bombs, the systems, all of that, no problem. We now have a super genius stronger than a Super Saiyan who's able to bend gravity, time, and matter to her will. Whether through science or sheer